Games like this, like against Paris Saint-Germain and like against Newcastle now, to win it, and that's also what we're trying to do, and we're really looking forward to it, to playing a final again, because you cannot take a final for granted, especially not in this country with so many good teams involved in every cup competition. So we're looking forward that we are part of it, and if you are part of it, of course, you want and try to win it, but that's probably what Newcastle wants as well.
A chance to make history for us as a team. That's very rare in football. You get very few opportunities to do that. Chance to be remembered positively, which again is not very many times in your career you get a chance to do that. So I think they're all positive outcomes. And I want the players to look at it that way, as I said earlier, to attack the game and to give a good representation of us.
So the story, the narrative around this one is the defending champions looking for their first trophy under their new manager against a side who are looking to end 70 years of hurt. Someone reminded me this week that Alan Shearer, who you picked out as your favourite Premier League celebration, not won a trophy with Newcastle. That shows you how far back it's gone. They're looking to make history. I mean, what are you thinking about this one, Glenn?
Well, 70 years weighs heavy,
yeah.
But they got the final, was it a couple of years ago? So I feel as though they've got that whole experience out, and that they'll go into this game a different creature kind of thing. What am I thinking? I think Liverpool are missing people. Newcastle are as well. It's a really, really difficult one to call, this one. I think that Liverpool will just have too much. I think the big players will turn up when they need to. Your Van Dijks, your Salahs, McAllister. I think that they will ultimately turn up. Gordon missing for Newcastle is really key and really unfortunate. And not too long ago in the Premier League, Liverpool put Newcastle to bed at a canter. Isak wasn't playing that day, so that is the one caveat to that result. It's going to be an interesting final.
It will. I mean, Gordon will be absolutely devastated. That moment of frustration, petulance, call it what you want, but it now has robbed him of the opportunity to play in a match that he would have dreamed of when he was at Everton and when he joined Newcastle.
Especially with the context behind it being Liverpool.
Indeed. And I think as far as the form is concerned, you're right. On form, Liverpool should win this because they won at a canter. But this is at Wembley. This is a big occasion. It's a silverware opportunity. And you don't know how that kind of pressure affects people. I do think Liverpool with more attacking options are the favourites. But then I look at Salah, and the last couple of games, he's not been the Salah we know and love, you know. And I'm wondering which Salah will turn up in this match. It seems ridiculous to say, of course, but
when you look back at Liverpool's last 6 games, I think or 8 games, sorry, they've drew 2 and lost 2. And then I think to the 4 they've won, one was Southampton where they sleepwalked through, and the other was Newcastle without Isak. So going into this final, Liverpool aren't in great form.
No.
So it's going to be really interesting. And also, I watched Isak in the semi-final at Arsenal, and Arsenal's defence obviously is elite. It's their strongest point. And Isak ran Gabriel and Saliba ragged. And I feel as though he possibly could do the same to Van Dijk.
Liverpool give you a chance in defence. I know that because going forward they are so good, people don't really look at that. But Liverpool hand chances to the opposition, and Isak could easily give Liverpool a problem. And also on top of that, I know the last couple of games, Salah's been sensational. Listen, all season, we know that he has terrific composure. He picks up fantastic positions, and he can give Newcastle a real problem. But I look particularly at the PSG game. It was billed as Salah against Dembele. Well, we saw a lot of Dembele. We didn't see that much of Salah. And so I'm just wondering, listen, it might well be that he says, I need to make a statement in this match, and we see a superb performance, but we know we're going to get this from Isak. It's the reason why so many big clubs want him. He's having the season of his life.
Yeah. And we know Wembley's big. There's plenty of turf to run in behind too. Unfortunately, we won't have Gordon alongside him, which helps. They're a real good partnership and they have a good understanding. But again, he will stretch that play to let Bruno Guimaraes get on the ball and try and dictate play. So I really feel it's a final that could go either way.
And also no Trent on the right side of the defence, which means Conor Bradley is up against a guy. You know, Conor Bradley's still learning the game. He's a good player, but still learning the game. He's up against Isak, who is just fire right now. And how does he deal with that? You know, the positions that Isak tends to take up, that will give him a real problem. And if Conor Bradley doesn't play, because I know there is some doubt about whether even he will play, then what do they do then?
You know, a Quansah, maybe Quansah might come in, but again, like, he's not an out-and-out right-back, is he? So, yeah, it's that will be an area where, surprisingly, Gordon would have been perfect for, wouldn't he? They've both got suspensions and injuries on that right and left-hand side. So, it's finely balanced, I would say, this final.
Yeah, you made a very interesting point, which I want to pick up on, is the form that Liverpool are in. Because they have made such a big gap at the top of the Premier League, it's easy to say, you know, they're on form, and Liverpool fans may not agree. They may see that against PSG, for example. I know you say they sleepwalked their way through the Southampton game, but I had a lot riding on that game because I brought my father all the way from Cape Town for his first time to go to Anfield, and when it was 1-0 at half-time, I nearly left. I was devastated. So not true. They had to battle back. They were very quiet. They were very... Southampton had opportunities, and they scored that goal in the first half. So maybe not the Liverpool we saw from a couple of months ago. And yet this is a cup final. This is a chance for someone like a Salah, as you mentioned, who we don't know if he's going to stay on, if this is his swan song season. We have no idea yet. A chance for someone like Virgil van Dijk, who we're also not sure of yet. And the big players, no matter what they're going through, as you guys also mentioned, this is a one-off game.
See, for us in newspapers, that subplot, the romance and all that stuff, newspaper, in media, it's fantastic, right? But on the pitch, and you probably would speak to this better, I just wonder if Liverpool are so far clear in the league that the intensities come out of their game. And so they do have those motivations, those individual motivations, but they might just be experiencing the frustration of not being able to go again, not being able to get back to where they had been.
Well, I think leaning into that narrative, also going out the Champions League, which was kind of a main focus for them, because they are so far ahead in the Premier League. It's kind of, right, let's concentrate on the Champions League. And when you get, I think the best way to put it is by humbled by PSG over 2 legs. They were absolutely superb. All of a sudden, it's like, actually, we really need to win this Carabao Cup. So it might spark them into life, but it's whether they're able to spark into life after having what has been an okay period, not a period that we've become used to over Liverpool this season.
So we do predictions at the end of the show, but we don't have space for this prediction, so I need a Carabao Cup winner. I need a prediction.
Do you know, I actually think I should not
I'm going romance. I'm going romance. I'm going Newcastle to break their 70-year curse.
I think Newcastle as well. I do. I know I never thought I'd say it, but I just think if you're Newcastle and you're Eddie Howe, because this is as much about the managers and how they approach this as well, I think Eddie Howe says to his players, attack them. They're hurting, they're feeling sorry for themselves. After the other, go after them. This is their 3rd League Cup. They've lost the other 2 to the Manchester clubs. They will not want to be losing this one. I think they will say attack them. They've got weaknesses that you can take advantage of. Go for the jugular.